Hello, successionaires, and welcome to the TV and conference call talk show, The Road to Success. And as always, the God in me greets and blesses the God in you. The talk show, The Road to Success, is all about you and everything that you want to talk about. Although we do have a main topic tonight. The main topic tonight is Black History, Show 2, number 2. I'm your host, Professor William Murray. This show is sponsored by the Millionaire Mastermind Institute, an institute for entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs. It's there where millionaire mindsets, lifestyles, and businesses are made. They take you from idea to implementation and beyond. You know, the show, The Road to Success, is here to make your life easier and much more knowledgeable. This evening's show, I'm going to give you greatness of Black history. Things that's happened. I guarantee you that 95% of what I'm going to give you this evening, you've never heard of these people. But what they did for us as a people, they're just aren't taught. Now, there's February the 1st, first day of Black History Month. So all month, y'all, I'll be giving Black history. Or I'm going to have guests on and we're going to be talking Black history. Or we're going to show you where, as a Black person, you can make money that's going and make it a part of history. To know me personally and to know my story is to know that I am history. I've done a lot of great things in my past. I'm doing great things now. I've been an activist since 1969, 1970. So what's that, 52 years? I've done a lot of great things, y'all, but I'm not in history books. Well, not my name, but my activities are in the history books. Well, I'm going to give you people tonight that are the same way. You probably never heard of, and the great things they've done. Maybe Friday or next week, I'm going to do Black History Sports. Black History Sports. But tonight, I'm going to give you history of great people that you've never even heard of. I'm going to give you some inventors. Maybe an invention, all depends on how my mind flows. Now I'm going to give you a few inventions to start off with, so we can get the show on the road. I hope you have your pen and your paper handy, because this evening you are definitely going to... Here's the reason I'm doing this. There's a reason why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because, you know, they always talk about Black History Month, Martin Luther King. Always same thing. Here's the reason I'm doing this. Let me do this. Okay. But there is so much greatness out there that we know nothing about. Hello, Tanika, I'm sorry. I'm glad to see you on. I have Ryan. I have Glenn. I have Ava. I don't have names beside these other numbers, y'all, so I can't give you who they are. Let me see here. But there are so many, because my show Friday, I gave you Black inventions, inventors. So this evening, I'm gonna give you a variety. So I'm gonna start off with an inventor. Home security system. Your home, all of us got home security systems. It was co-invented by Murray Van Brittan Brown in 1966. Now, this is something that I knew this one before I looked it up. I just happened to see it. I said, I'm going to tell them about it. Refrigerated trucks, invented by Frederick McKinley Jones in 1940. He himself saved a whole industry, which was the meat industry, by his invention of the refrigerated truck. Electric microphone, co-invented by James E. West in 1964. Now, this one I knew too. Color IBM PC monitor and gigahertz chip, co-invented by Mark Dean in 1980. Otis Boykin, I knew this one. He invented the artificial heart pacemaker control unit, the control unit for the pacemaker, which made it, oh God, about 95% more efficient. Now I'm gonna give you some unknown people now that done great things that we know nothing about. See, the reason I say now you need to have your children sitting there with you, so when they tell them and when they're in school, and they ask him, who do you know that was black, African American or otherwise? Don't just say Martin, Coretta, Rosa Parks. There are surprise them with who you know and what you know. I'm gonna give you some that you can give to your children. That's why I say this evening is a class. You need to have your children sitting there with you. If they're not, call them into the room. I've got 4 or 5 pages of people, great people of color, that most of I said 95% of them never heard of. In 1920, January the 16th, 1920, Zeta Phi Beta, a black sorority, is founded at Howard University here in Washington, D.C. February 13th, the Negro in 1920, the Negro National Baseball League is founded by Andrew Bishop Foster, and they called him Rube. Now, I've got a book about the Negro Baseball League called Only the Ball Was White. Fantastic book of black baseball history, titled Only the Ball Was White. Only the Ball Was White. 1923, Dewey Gatson, who goes by Roger Jack DeSoto, is the first black American to participate in a professional car race. That's in 1923. You know the hell he caught on the tracks, because boy, they did not want us out there then. January the 3rd, 1923, William Leo Hansberry, a professor at Howard University, teaches the first course on African history and civilization at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that's going to be very shocking to you. A majority of the HBCUs are white-owned. Hello. A majority of the black HBCUs aren't black-owned. January 27th, 1923, the Harlem Globetrotters basketball team plays its first game. October the 2nd, 1927, journalist Floyd Joseph Calvin becomes the host of the first Black journalism radio show. Wow. August the 5th, 1928, Atlanta World, a Black daily newspaper, is founded by William Alexander Scott in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, the lines are open whenever you want to tune in or say something, but tonight I'm giving you a lesson. Hello, Julie Beth. That's my granddaughter. She married my grandson. Gave me a beautiful, 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 beautiful great grandbaby named after my wife, Ava. Love you, dear. She says, hi, Papa. Make my day, baby. Make my day. November the 6th, 1928. Oscar the Priest is the first Black American to represent a northern urban district when he is elected to Congress representing the South Side of Chicago. Like I said, majority of these you've never heard of. That's why I say you need to have your children sitting there with you, taking notes. So when this being Black History Month and they have to write about someone of greatness, it's got to be someone that they could teach that other people have never heard of or don't know. July the 2nd, 2019. The 1920s, often called Roaring Twenties, is synonymous with the Jazz Age and the Harlem Renaissance. But that was the age, baby. That's when music really became. This nation really realized how great Black people were as musicians. August the 18th, 1920, the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is ratified, granted women the right to vote. August 18th, 1920. January 3rd, 1921, Jesse Binga establishes Binga State Bank in Chicago. We couldn't get money from the white banks. We couldn't even go in the doors. So for him to do something like that in 1921, that was for his community. Because the white people weren't going to give them his money. March 1921, Harry Pace establishes Black Swan Phonograph Corporation in Harlem. The company is the first Black record company, a significant accomplishment for both Black businesses and Black expression, as the label catered to Black listeners with jazz and blues singers. That's in 1921. May the 31st, like I said, I got 4 pages of these, y'all. May 31st, 1921, the Tulsa race riots began late in the day on May 31st. And we know what happened in Tulsa. That was the Black Wall Street. And it was at the first bombing from the air by the United States. And it bombed a Black community. May the 31st, 1921. They call it race riot. It wasn't a race riot, it was a massacre. Period. See, that's how history is writing it, as a race riot. It wasn't a race riot. January 26, 1922, the Dyer anti-lynching bill, the first of its kind, passes the U.S. House of Representatives in part due to the efforts of the NAACP. Now, here's the damn thing. The thing about this, y'all. That happened January 16, 1922. We're still fighting that right today, 2022. That's 100 years, y'all. We're still fighting this anti-lynching bill. Ain't that something? 100 years, and we're still fighting it. November 12th, 1922, Sigma Gamma Rho, a black sorority, is founded in Indianapolis, Indiana, at Butler University. The 7 founders are Bessie May, Downey Rhodes Martin, Cabina McClure, Dorothy Hanley Whiteside, Murray Lou Addison Garner, Hattie Mae Annette Dullen Redford, Nanny Mae Gaughan Johnson, and Vivian White Marbury. Now, here's the great thing about this, y'all. I'm going to give you all this information. You can go back and listen to it again. It's going to be on YouTube under MRWMURY, Mr. W. Murray. And it's going to be on my Facebook page, facebook.com/W Murray, MURRY. Because they're going to be there. And you can listen to this again and let your children listen to it. 1923, Dewey Gatson, who goes by the name of Roger Jack DeSoto, is the first Black American to participate in a professional car race. And he does so in an upgraded Model T Ford. January the 3rd, 1923, William Leo Hansberry, a professor at Howard University, teaches the first course on American history and civilization at Howard University in Washington, D.C. February 23rd, February 1923, Bessie Smith records her first sides for Columbus Records. Her song, Downhearted Blues, is the first record by a Black artist to sell 1 million copies. Do you know I have Bessie Smith's album? I've got a collection. My collection is worth thousands of dollars. November 20th, 1923, Garrett T. Morgan patents the caution light, also known as 3-position traffic signal. Morgan sold his traffic signal design to General Electric for $40,000. Do you know how much money $40,000 was back in 1923? It made him rich. 40,000. Wow. That's almost equal to 400,000 or more today. 1925, Alain Locke publishes The New Negro, an anthology featuring Black writers and visual artists of the Harlem Renaissance. August 25th, 1925, Asa Philip Randolph established the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters and Maids. This trade union aims to help Black railroad porters and maids working for Pullman Palace Car Company obtain fair treatment, including better pay hours, and opportunity for promotion. I didn't look it up, and I should have, y'all. There's a movie out about this, and I don't know what the name of it is. But I should have looked that up because I knew about Asa Philip Randolph. And he caught hell putting that together, y'all. He really did threaten him, his family, his wife, his kids, behind him putting that together. But he ended up getting it, and he caught hell. And that's an understatement. October 1925, the American Negro Labor Congress, ANLC, a communist-based organization, is developed by Lovett Fort Whiteman to promote racial unity and help Black laborers fight racism and discrimination. February the 7th, 1926. Now, this I knew, and that's why today is Black History Month. February the 7th, 1926, Negro History Week is celebrated for the first time. It was developed by historian Carter G. Woodson to raise awareness for Black accomplishments throughout history and encourage Black pride. Since 1976, what was once known as Negro History Week is known as Black History Month, a holiday declared as a national observance by President Ford. Now, one thing we've learned to realize, y'all, Black history is from January the 1st to December the 31st forever. 365 days a year is Black History Day, Black History Week, Black History Month, Black History Year. That's why this month, for the month of February, I'm going to give y'all history. I'm going to give y'all one hell of an education on us as a people. And the people I'm going to bring in that's going to give you information, knowledge. Y'all, this is the time you got to have your children listening, your grandchildren listening. Sit down with them and play this again. You can play the replay. Like I said, it's on YouTube. Just look under Black History 1 and Black History 2. And it's going to be there. Because Black History 3, I'm going to do on Black sports history. June 26, 1926, Dr. Mordecai Johnson is the first Black president of Howard University. This milestone comes 59 years after the institution was founded. Now think about that. 59 years, Howard University, a Black university, president was white. 59 years. I told you, Black HBCUs are owned by white folks, y'all. Majority of them are owned by white people. October 2nd, 1926, journalist Floyd Joseph Calvin becomes the host of the first Black journalism radio show. Calvin, who was Black himself, begins broadcasting from WGBS in Pittsburgh about influential Black Americans and topics in Black history. You know he caught hell back in that time, 1926. They didn't want us to know that we were anything. Just like right now, this critical CRT, critical race theory, where they're saying take out all the bad stuff about white folks out of history, then hell, there would be no history if they just left the truth. August the 5th, 1928, Atlanta World, a Black daily newspaper, is founded by William Alexander Scott in Atlanta, Georgia, in 1932. Scott rebrands the newspaper as Atlanta Daily World, and the publication became the first successful black daily newspaper in the United States. 1928. I'm going to get more up to date as we go along, y'all. June the 20th, 1929, the influential Fats Waller, real name Thomas Wright Waller, sung Ain't Misbehavin', and is part of a musical, Hot Chocolates, that debuts on Broadway. Louis Armstrong plays in the pit orchestra and is featured on the song Nightly. Right now, that is one of the most popular plays on Broadway in New York City. Ain't Misbehaving. I've seen it. It is fantastic. February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X is assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City. Malcolm X had offered an alternative view to the mainstream civil rights movement, advocating for both the establishment of a separate black community rather than integrate in the use of violence and self-defense rather than non-violence. I know most of these people you've never heard of. I'm aware of that. Now, if any of you ever want a copy of this, just send me a text message. Let me do this. At 931-269-1010. Or send me an email at trts.info1@gmail.com. Hey, Vera Phillips, my sweetheart. Hey, darling, glad to see you're watching. That's my girl, boy. I was crazy and I was in love with myself and Vera Phillips. That, when I was in real, that is one of the sweetest people you could probably ever meet. I love me. Every time I saw Vera, I had to get me a hug. Let me go a little further, y'all. I'm about finished. I got 5 pages, y'all. I got 2 more pages to do. March 1965. Several civil protests occurred throughout Alabama. On March 7th, an estimated 600 civil rights activists hold a march from Selma to Montgomery, protesting denial of black people voting rights in the state. On March 21st, King spearheads a 5-day, 54-mile march from Selma to Montgomery. The protest, retracing the original marches, began with 3,300 participants and grows to 25,000 marchers by the time it reaches the Alabama Capitol 4 days later. Following these actions, President Lyndon Johnson proposes the Voting Rights Act to Congress, which would guarantee black people the right to vote throughout southern states. In August, the act is signed into law. Now, that was in 1965. Here, and that was just down south. Now it's 2022, and we got 49 states with over 500 laws written in the last year and a half. That's voter suppression. Voter suppression right now. Think about that, y'all. Now, here's the thing that's going to be shocking to you. Lyndon Johnson did not want to sign that bill. He told Martin to his face, I can't sign it. Make me. make me sign it. Do what you got to do to make me sign it. And what did Martin do? Martin went to work. You hear about this march in Alabama? 54-mile march, 4 days. Started out with 3,300, ended up with 25,000. March 9th, 1965, King expresses his sentiments against the Vietnam War for the first time, telling reporters on the TV news program Face the Nation. Y'all, I saw that. I was watching that. That millions of dollars can be spent every day to hold troops in South Vietnam, and our country cannot protect the rights of Negroes in Selma. According to Martin Luther King Jr., Research Institute at Stanford University, he further states that as a minister, he has a prophetic function, and as one greatly concerns about the need for peace in our world and the survival of mankind. When he did that speech, y'all, that's when they considered him the most dangerous man in America, because he spoke out against the war. He knew he was going to die. That's why one of the main reasons they killed him. If you would sit down and talk with Coretta Scott King, she would tell you one of the main reasons that he was assassinated, murdered by the government, because of that speech that he gave March 9th, 1965, against the war in Vietnam. The government was not going to have it. I remember that speech like it was yesterday. August 11th through the 16th in 1965, the Watts riots occurred in the Watts section of Los Angeles. 34 people are killed and thousands are injured. January 18th, 1966, Robert Weaver becomes the first Black person to hold a cabinet post when Johnson appoints him to head the Department of Housing and Urban Development. In May 1966, Stokely Carmichael becomes the chairperson of SNCC and immediately changes its focus to the idea of Black power, a definite break from historical civil rights tactics. After graduating, y'all hear that? After graduating from Howard University in 1964, Carmichael worked full-time with the organization registering Black citizens to vote. He will eventually leave the organization to become a leader of the Black Panther Party. See, they want y'all to think that all of them, Stokely Carmichael and all of the civil rights leaders back then, organization leaders back then, were thugs, hoodlums. They were college graduates, y'all. But how many of you knew that? Dewey Newton, college graduate. August 30th, 1966, Constance Baker Motley is the first African-American woman to become a federal judge when she is appointed by Johnson to the federal bench in New York City. Motley sets the stage for increased Black representation in government. Now, see, most of these people, like I told you, you hadn't heard of. That's why, hello, Veronica, that's why I'm telling you, there is so much greatness that you aren't being taught and told. In October 1966, the Black Panther Party is founded by Bobby Seale, Huey P. Newton, and David Hilder in Oakland, California. The three college students create the organization to provide protection to the Black Americans against police brutality, and also to feed the youth in the Black community. December 26, 1966, Karenga established Kwanzaa, a holiday to give blacks an alternative to the existing holiday and give blacks an opportunity to celebrate themselves and their history, rather than simply imitate the practice of the dominant society. It becomes an annual celebration observed for 7 days from December 26th to January the 1st by the black people to honor their heritage. We just ended past Kwanzaa, y'all. November the 8th, 1966, Edward Brooke becomes the first black person to be elected by popular vote to the United States Senate. Brooke serves the state of Massachusetts. He served 2 terms, leaving office on January 3rd, 1979. Brooke had also served as Massachusetts Attorney General from 1963 to 1967. In May of 1967, Hubert Rap Brown becomes national chairman of SNCC, succeeding Carmichael. He extends Carmichael's agenda to develop militancy within the SNCC by alienating white members and aligning the organization with the Black Panther Party, according to the National Archives. June 12th, U.S. Supreme Court rules that states cannot ban interracial marriage in the Loving versus Virginia case. The court finds that such a ban violates the equal protection and due process clauses of the 14th Amendment. They just put a movie out just a few years ago, less than 5 years ago, about that affair. He was white and she was black. They arrested them when they were in Virginia, and they had to travel, sneak through states and stuff because they were not allowed to be married because he was white and she was black. June 29th, 1967, Renee Powell joins the Ladies Professional Golf Association tour, becoming the second black woman to participate in this capacity. Althea Gibson was the first black woman to play on the LPGA when she joined in 1964. August 30th, 1967. Remember this date? Oh, I remember this date. Thurgood Marshall becomes the first black American to serve on the United States Supreme Court. When Marshall retired from the court decades later in 1991. I'll never forget too when he came, both of them when he was appointed and he gave his presentation speech, and then when he gave his retirement speech, and they kept saying, "Don't retire, don't retire." And he says, "Y'all, I am old. It is a must right now that I retire." I remember. In October 1967, Albert William Johnson takes over the Ray Oldsmobile car dealership at 74th and Houston Streets in Chicago, becoming the first black person to be awarded a dealership from a major automobile company. Oh, I got another page, y'all. Oh, I'm almost finished, though. Oh, good time. Because I want to have a conversation after this, y'all. November 7th, 1967. Carl Stokes becomes the first black person elected as mayor of Cleveland, Ohio. On the same day, Richard G. Hatcher becomes the first black mayor of Gary, Indiana. And tell me, boy, do I remember that. The media boy was raising hell. April the 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King is murdered in Memphis. Riots ensure in 125 cities throughout the United States. King had stepped onto the balcony of Memphis Lorraine Motel when a rifle bullet tore to his face. He dies at Joseph's Hospital less than an hour later. And y'all got news for y'all. Oswald didn't do it. The government killed King, a sharpshooter. Although the story about that, y'all, I could tell you, and maybe one day I will get into that story. May the 12th, June the 24th, 1968. The Poor People's Campaign galvanizes 50,000 demonstrators to Washington, D.C., held in the wake of King's assassination under the leadership of King's confidant and advisor, Ralph Abernathy. It is a call for economic justice for poor people in the United States. September 9th, 1968. Tennis player Arthur Ashe is the first Black American to win the men's singles title at the U.S. Open. And do you know the media did not want to report that? A lot of TV stations did not report that he had won the U.S. Open in 1968 when he won it. October 16th, 1968. After winning first and third place, respectively, at the Olympics in Mexico City, Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised clenched fists in solidarity with the other Black Americans. As a result, both were suspended. Now that I remember, y'all, like it was yesterday. The news media called him everything but the Son of God for raising their Black Power fist to protest unfair treatment of Black people. November the 5th, 1968, my girl, Shirley Chisholm is the first Black woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. She will serve in the office until 1983. Chisholm will also run for president on the Democratic ticket in 1972, becoming the first Black person to do so. She is also the first Black person and the first woman to win delegates for a presidential nomination by a major party. November the 5th, 1968. The first Black Studies program is established at San Francisco State University. The program is founded after a 5-month student strike, the longest in U.S. history on a college campus. And boy, do I remember that. May the 6th, 1969. Howard N. Lee is elected mayor at Chetney Hill, North Carolina, becoming the first Black mayor of the city. He is also the first Black mayor of a southern city that is predominantly white. August 18, 1969, guitarist Jimi Hendrix headlines the Woodstock Music Festival in upstate New York. That was a festival, y'all, that went down in history. That was when they called it was a free-for-all for everything. And I mean everything. Them crazy ass wild white folks was dropping acid and PCP and all that stuff like it was nothing. It was muddy because it rained, and they were out there in it anyway. Anyone got that? Got something they want to say? Lines are open. I just gave y'all a great. Now see, y'all see how many people did you know already or know about already before I gave y'all those 6 pages of Black facts? Did anybody know any of those or know of anything else we can talk about Black history? I got about 10 minutes. Black facts. Y'all see now.
Hello?
Yes. Yes.
William?
Yes.
This is William calling.
How you doing, William?
It's good, man. You hit him with some good Black facts there. I actually had a chance to talk with Tommy Smith's wife last year because I was actually trying to catch up with Tommy Smith because I did a call Black Power that featured Tommy Smith and John Carlos in the center of the poster. And it was kind of an ode to the 60s with Muhammad Ali. It had Sam Cooke, which a lot of people don't know. Sam Cooke was one of the first music moguls to be out in African American history.
Yes.
Because Sam Cooke, right before he was killed, Sam Cooke was about to recruit James Brown and others to be part of a record label that he was trying to form independently that was going to be completely black owned. And that took place right before his passing. And a lot of the African Americans that are in the music industry owe a lot to people like the Sam Cooke of the world. And then you look at people like Michael Jackson, for example, who owned the Beatles catalog. And he actually got back the catalog for people like the Isley Brothers.
Little Richard. Little Richard.
And Little Richard as well.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And then you look at pioneers like Prince in the music industry, who pretty much schooled a whole generation of hip-hop artists to own their own masters.
Yes.
So that was part of the thing that Prince was doing when he was writing the word slave on the side of his face when he was under contract for Warner Brothers Records. So our history is so rich that I always say that when you look at Black history, you can't separate that from American history because we were there from the very beginning all the way up to the present time.
See, one thing, William, that people don't realize, William, is that critical race theory is the white man trying to tell us we can't teach history about us. We can't tell the cruelty of their ancestors from when America was founded behind racism and cruelty, and look at it today. Look at what's going on with the Republican Party today. Now, for y'all, those of y'all that don't know, William Maxwell is a graphic artist. He gets a chance to meet all of these big wheel famous people. So he's got stories that I'm gonna bring him on one day. He's gonna be a guest, and we're gonna go this month. It's gonna be this month, and we're gonna go over all of that. The people he's met, the thing he's done, their graphic artwork for, and the stories that he can tell us. So I'm gonna bring William back, y'all. And William is going to be a guest one day this month, and we're gonna cover a lot of stuff that y'all don't know.
I've been very blessed and fortunate to have worked with some legends in Africa over the 30 years that I've been doing my business, and I'm really excited, William, about coming back on the show and sharing that information with the listeners. And and the funny thing is, people like you and I, we've been around so long that we've been fortunate to meet and shakers, over a period of time. And I know even going back to the Million Man March, there were a lot of people that I met and still know from that event. It was very life-changing, just to be around so many Black people who were on the same page in terms of realizing that we had to make some changes.
No doubt. Yes, indeed. You know what, man? Like I said, I got one major regret that I really, really got a regret about. And I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to make it up. When this young lady, her one of the owners of their company wanted to do a documentary on me. And I told him no.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the value
Wow.
or how important it would have been if I just if they could have done a documentary on me, the information I could have given them, the history I've done, the things I participate in that is history. And I truly regret not letting them do the documentary on me. If I go back and do it again, that's one thing in life I regret.
It's never too late. It's never too late. You're still here with us. So hopefully, you know, this project is to have someone do a documentary kind of chronicling your path and the things that you've done and the people that you've influenced and the people that you have been influenced by. And I'm pretty sure that'll be very inspirational to a lot of the listeners and viewers. And, you know, I think you really should make that one of your projects for this year.
You know, I'm gonna think about it. I got a gentleman I wrote a one-man play, and he keeps telling me to finish it so he can perform the play. He can produce the play. So I'm thinking seriously about that. I am thinking very seriously. I've got 2/3 of it written.
Right.
So all I gotta do is sit down for about another month or two and finish it.
Take whatever, you know, take some time and just, I always say, in order to get those type of projects done, you have to get you a calendar that you put physically in front of you and just start to mark some time off towards that particular goal.
Yes.
And
yes.
eventually you'll get it done. I mean, that's what I did when I did my first business expo back in '96. I kept talking about it, but until I start to physically put it on a calendar in front of me, then I had to commit to actually following through.
Yeah.
So, you know, that may, you know, be something that will help make that happen for you sooner than later.
Well, yeah, he's on my case, man. I got to go and finish that. I got to finish that. I'd love to do a one-man show.
Yeah.
It would be a two-man show because I got to get somebody to play me when I was younger. I can play me now.
Right.
But yeah, when I was younger, because I started, like I said, I've been activist since 1970s, early 1970, late 1969, early 1970s. I've been an activist. And all the marches I helped put together and volunteered with, and meetings we had with the CIA and all these police forces in DC. And my wife didn't even know one time, man, we had to have security outside our house. And I never even told her.
Wow.
Because they couldn't let it happen to us. Wow. We were the organizers of the march. And they had people camped out outside in front of my house to protecting us.
Right.
And so it's I got stories to tell. The 2-day march, 26 miles against police brutality here in Prince George's County. And the law was passed behind the 26-mile march and 22-week protest. And I financed so much of that march, it almost put me out of business. But I didn't mind.
Wow.
I gave thousands of dollars that march.
You definitely need to get that story out there, William.
Yeah.
You definitely need to do that.
You know, it's amazing how people, if people only...
That's the funny thing with African-American history, is a lot of the history never gets out because people keep putting it off.
Well, I would love somebody to sit down with me and say they like listen and write my story. I would love for someone to approach me that wants to write my story now. I would say yes so quick they didn't even get the question completely out.
Yeah.
So it might happen. So if the right people approach me, you know, it'll happen. I won't be able to write it. I gotta get somebody else to write it through my stories and my photographs that I have. I got pictures, man, like you would not believe of all this stuff. But see, back then they didn't have the phone, so we had to have cameras. Because I regret the fact, but I didn't know. I don't have a picture of me and Coretta Scott King. I don't have a picture. I don't have a picture when I was with Rosa Parks. I don't have a picture because it wasn't the type of thing, you don't carry cameras around. And we were having meetings, putting together.
Pre-cell phone days.
Yeah, it was definitely that. Definitely that.
There were a lot of people. There were a lot of people I met along the way too.
All right, William, we will be talking, man. I'll call you. We'll work out a date for you.
Okay, I look forward to it.
It'll be the latter part of February, so start putting your notes together.
I will definitely do that.
Appreciate it, my brother.
Have a good evening and a good evening to all the listeners.
Appreciate it, my brother.
All right.
Y'all, my book, From the Mind of William, just released, 2 weeks ago now? 2 weeks ago, released From the Mind of William. Oh, well, let me put that up. That's something I didn't do. I got to put that up. There it is. Yeah, From the Mind of William. Affirmations, the thought and the action process to success. You can order my book, y'all. It's only $25. Let me do this right here. Let me do this other one. Why is it not showing? Why isn't it showing? I need it. Oh, it's not showing. Okay. You can order my book through PayPal at PayPal me/MM Institute. PayPal me/MM Institute. Or you can go to Cash App, and it's $W Murray, MURRY. You can email me at trts.info1@gmail.com or call the Institute at 240-619-2019. So you can order my book, and I'll autograph it and send you my little special gift that everybody gets one of my books gets when they order my book. Did I have anyone make any comments? I don't. Oh. Well, y'all, you know what time is it? Boy, I'm telling you, the hour goes by fast. This guy, like I said, this is the quickest hour of the week. It's between 9 and 10 on Tuesday and Friday. It's the quickest hour of the week. You know, I always tell you that if you push me, I'll pull you. If you pull me, I'll push you. It don't matter whether I'm pushing or pulling y'all. We're going to get there together. I guarantee to make you a winner. Get in touch with me at the Institute, 240-619-2019. Send me a text message, 931-269-1010. 931-269-1010. Text message. You know I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. So everyone, until next time, God bless. And keep working on your road to success. Until next time, everyone, God bless.